This was not a good night for the president. Everything he touched was a loser. Trump hasn't been this embarrassed since he found out there was a Donald Trump Jr. If you're tired of all the losing, fear not, he's got an excuse. In fact, he's got two of them. He wrote, Trump wasn't on the ballot and shutdown were the two reasons that Republicans lost elections.
So Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up.
The night of losing. It wasn't a good night for the former president. Not even close. Every race he touched crumbled like a house of cards built on ego. You could almost feel the embarrassment radiating through the headlines. Trump hasn't looked as defeated since the day he realized Jr. wasn't a nickname, but a life sentence. But don't worry, he's already found excuses. In true Trump fashion, he offered 2 reasons why Republicans lost. Trump wasn't on the ballot, and the shutdown hurt us. Convenient, right? When he wins, it's brilliance. When he loses, it's everyone else's fault. And so, as he scrolls through social media, stewing the irony of his own undoing, a familiar voice cuts through the noise, the one that always seems to get under his skin. Turn the volume up.
We are on day 35 of the government shutdown, now tied for the longest shutdown since the last time Trump shut the government down. This morning, he threatened to delay SNAP benefits to the 42 million Americans.
We're seeing right now what the Trump agenda portends for New Yorkers. This is a man who ran a presidential campaign on the premise of cheaper groceries that is now trying to cut SNAP benefits to make it even harder to afford those same groceries. And we have to protect the New Yorkers with the least from the attacks from the man with the most.
Jimmy Kimmel says with that smirk, because this isn't just another late-night roast. It's a public unmasking wrapped in laughter. When Kimmel's razor-edge humor meets Zohran Mamdani's calm precision, Trump's narrative doesn't just fall apart, it implodes. One attacks with punchlines that sting, the other with facts that slice deeper than any joke could. Together, they turn Trump's chaos into a comedy masterclass. Kimmel doesn't shout or rage. He performs surgery. On ego, on absurdity, on the myth of genius that Trump keeps trying to sell. Each line lands like a scalpel cutting through spin. Because how else do you deal with a man who's turned politics into the longest-running improv act in America? Mamdani doesn't play for laughs. He plays for clarity.
He wrote, Trump wasn't on the ballot and shutdown were the two reasons that Republicans lost elections tonight. Now, if Republicans had won and he wasn't on the ballot, would he take credit for that? Oh, yes, he definitely would, but he lost. And then he posted this. He posted, and so it begins, which was either a response to Mamdani winning the mayoral race or he just sat down on the toilet.
While Kimmel dismantles the act with irony, Mamdani disassembles the illusion with logic. Brick by brick, his voice never rises. He doesn't need volume when truth is on his side. He exposes a paradox. The man who promised cheaper groceries now fights to cut food benefits. The self-proclaimed savior of workers turns his back on those who need saving most. And in that contrast, humor meets honesty. Something rare happens. Laughter becomes revelation. The joke stops being funny because it's too real. But this was just the opening act. As the cameras roll and the laughter grows louder, the question lingers. What happens when the king of spectacle realizes the crowd is laughing at him, not with him?
We will hold bad landlords to account because the Donald Trumps of our city have grown far too comfortable taking advantage of their tenants. We will put an end to the culture of corruption that has allowed billionaires like Trump to evade taxation.
While Trump's trying to...
Comedy meets clarity. Jimmy Kimmel's brilliance isn't just in how he mocks, it's in how he delivers. Every punchline lands like a surgeon's incision, precise and controlled, cutting through layers of self-delusion. He's been operating on the same inflated ego for years, and he knows every weak spot. What others call controversy, Kimmel calls material, and tonight that material is gold.
If you're tired of all the losing, fear not, he's got an excuse. In fact, he's got two of them. He wrote, Trump wasn't on the ballot and shutdown were the two reasons that Republicans lost elections tonight. Now, if Republicans had won and he wasn't on the ballot, would he take credit for that? Oh, yes, he definitely would, but he lost. And then he posted this. He posted, "And so it begins," which was either a response to Mamdani winning the mayoral race or he just sat down on the toilet. I don't know. And so it begins.
He breaks down Trump's excuses with surgical timing. The ballot, the shutdown, the endless blame game. If Republicans had won, Kimmel jokes, he'd take credit for the weather. The crowd erupts. But beneath the laughter, there's something deeper: exhaustion. America has seen this movie before. Then enters Zohran Mamdani, calm, deliberate, factual. Where Kimmel uses satire to expose, Mamdani uses truth to dismantle. He doesn't jab, he dissects.
Because he wants to distract from what I fight for. I fight for working people. I fight for the very people that have been priced out of this city, and I fight for the same people that he said he was fighting for. And we know that in this moment, it is up to us in this city to show that we can not only fight back against authoritarianism, but we can also fight for.
While Trump tweets, Mamdani talks policy. While the former president dramatizes his loss, Mamdani outlines the cost of it for workers, for renters, for anyone caught in the crossfire of privilege masquerading as populism. He reminds everyone that leadership isn't theater, it's accountability. We will hold bad landlords to account, he declares, because the Trumps of this city had gotten too comfortable profiting off the people they were supposed to protect.
And then his press secretary had to go out there and walk that back because he legally can't do it. It really is amazing. The president says one thing, the White House says another entirely different. It's like the one hand doesn't know what the other tiny, bruised, makeup-covered, greasy, genitalia-grabbing, Sharpie-stained baby hand is doing. And also, hey, you just think about how cruel a person has to be to cut off food to 42 million people. It's the kind of thing that makes you go, oh, no wonder.
That's not just a soundbite. It's a scalpel aimed at a system built on exploitation. Kimmel and Mamdani together are a strange sort of duet. One laughter, one logic. Kimmel transforms chaos into comedy. Mamdani transforms confusion into clarity. Together, they strip the illusion bare. Trump's empire slogans collapses under its own contradictions. Every win he claims feels smaller, hollower, more desperate. And yet, it's mesmerizing, like watching a stage magician run out of tricks while the audience starts seeing the wires. Kimmel provides a laugh. Mamdani provides a lesson. And the balance between them is what makes the takedown feel less like mockery and more like revelation. Because at the end of the night, the truth doesn't need to shout. It just needs to be heard. But the curtain isn't closing yet. Trump's still performing, still clinging to the script that no one believes anymore.